Thank you, Mr. Nixon. That completes the opening statements, and now the candidates will answer questions or comment upon one another's answers to questions put by correspondents of the networks. Statements, and now the candidates will answer questions or comment upon one another's answers to questions put by correspondents of the networks. Mutual News. The correspondents.
I'm Stuart Van Oker, NBC News.
Bob Fleming, ABC News.
I'm Charles Warren,
First question to Senator Kennedy from Mr. Fleming.
I'm Stuart Novin, CBS
Senator, the
News.
Vice President in his campaign,
Bob
has
Fleming,
said that you
ABC.
were
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes. But in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
President,
Yes. I have never heard or seen such outrageous, vicious, distorted reporting in 27 years of public life. I'm not blaming anybody for that. Perhaps what happened is that what we did brought it about, and therefore the media decided that they would have to take that particular on. But when people are pounded night after night with that kind of frantic, hysterical reporting, it naturally shakes their confidence. And yet, don't get the impression that you arouse my anger. You see, one can only be angry with those he respects.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Tonight I want to talk to you on a subject of deep concern to all Americans and to many people in all parts of the world, the war in Vietnam. I believe that one of the reasons for the deep division about Vietnam is that many Americans have lost confidence in what their government has told them about our policy. The American people cannot and should not be asked to support a policy which involves the overriding issues of war and peace unless they know the truth about that policy. Tonight, therefore, I would like to answer some of the questions that I know are on the minds of many of you listening to me. How and why did America get involved in Vietnam in the first place? How has this administration changed the policy of the previous administration? What has really happened in the negotiations in Paris and on the battlefront in Vietnam? What choices do we have if we are to end the war? What are the prospects for peace? Now let me begin by describing the situation I found when I was inaugurated on January 20. The war had been going on for 4 years. 31,000 Americans had been killed in action. The training program for the South Vietnamese was beyond schedule. 540,000 Americans were in Vietnam with no plans to reduce the number. No progress had been made at the negotiations in Paris, and the United States had not put forth a comprehensive peace proposal. The war was causing deep division home and criticism from many of our friends as well as our enemies abroad. In view of these circumstances, there were some who urged that I end the war at once by ordering the immediate withdrawal of all American forces. From a political standpoint, this would have been
I'm going down on Friday to see the new research center.
Where is it? In what town?
It's near Duke, in fact. It's,
In Durham? Is it in Durham or Raleigh?
It just says near Duke, and I haven't really.
Right.
Triangle Park or something like that.
What is it? There's one. Is this one of what? I don't know enough about these centers, you know. You probably know more about it than I do.
It's the third center they set up through the Environmental Protection Agency, and this one is exclusively concerned with air pollution. You know, like pesticides in the air and how we can control it in cars, and then we're hoping that after the ceremony we can meet with some of the students from Duke and around the area who are involved in the environment. So I hope I get
How
to
much
see your old
interest is
school.
there in this environment thing among the students? You know, you've been out to several of the schools already, haven't you, in the past 2 or 3 months?
Right.
Is it
It's number one interest besides.
among students?
Yes, I think
Besides
so.
the
I think
war?
even more than.
Besides the peace issue, huh?
Well, I think even more than the war, since that's
Winding
ending.
down?
Yeah, I think it really is number one.
And do you think very many students would volunteer in this field to help out, you know, like?
Yeah, well, there are more and more courses in it offered, for example, and then through courses, kids find out about what they could be involved in and get involved even in local things, which is good, and win some points with the local people in town.
Have you ever been to Duke before?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I've never seen-
Well, when you go there, be sure to go to the chapel. The law school.
Right, rather than the message, right? So you got to give me a chance after I tell you this. The sky's not blue. Okay? What I mean by that is the Buddhists are right. Nothing in the universe has an absolute state of existence independent of anything else. For example, you had thought, like I had used to think, the sky was blue whether humans were around or not. The sky's blue. It's just how it is. Okay? But that's not how it is. It's all in our head. Okay? What we know of the universe, right? We know the universe. We know that. What I love is we have our own creation story, the Big Bang, the beginning of space and time, and we know a lot. And we know that out of 100% of the composition, the stuff that makes up the universe, we're only dealing our total reality is only dealing with 4% of it. 96% of it we label as dark matter or dark energy because it either doesn't emit light, or if it emits light, it doesn't have anything to do with us, right? Right? I'm not talking about invisible light like gamma rays and microwaves. They got stuff to do with us, right? Like microwave. Okay. So what are we stuck with? We're stuck with the matter and energy that we know, and our total reality, what you see out there is dependent on what? Visible light, electromagnetic radiation. Yeah, light again. Okay. And of that, we just see visible light. Okay, and what do we do? Okay, do ocean waves have color? Do radio waves have color? Do sound waves have color? Light waves don't have color. They're waves. Okay? Okay? All right? And what happens is, the longest wavelength, like any...